Shalom, Akim. Alright, back at you with another lesson through the power and the spirit of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakah Kodash. Give double orders to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and the house of David is rising. Back at you with another lesson through the power and the spirit of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Psalm 62:4 says, They only consult to cast him down. From his excellency they delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Alright, man. So yeah, based on certain words we're going to bring out, I was watching a live stream of the elders, the apostles, and they mention certain words, and I just want to make it into a video. It's edifying, because they refer to this word here, the recent debate that took place with I call him Doctor because he is a falsifier, Dr. Michael Brown, or falsifier Brown. The debate that happened, but he accused the physician of lies. Accused in the debate, he accused Sikari of being this word here. I'm gonna read it. Like I say, it's just gonna be a word search, get into certain words, and Abaratazar, we get certain things out of it and relating it to the scriptures, and it's gonna be a little bit more of some artillery that we could use in our spiritual battle. Abaratazar, getting into the words. The Gunin Grigma effect occurs when a person's lack of knowledge. So he accused falsifier Brand, Amalek Brand, or Michael Brand accused Sikari of being this word here. He pulled this one from out of his debate arsenal. And really, as the elder apostle said, elder apostle Gabar said that it applies to him. So, as well as being this word, let's carry on. The lack of knowledge and skills in a certain area cause them to overestimate their own competence, right? And I saw through it, using my own discernment, what the Most High gave me. I saw through the insincerity of the falsifier Brand. I saw through it, and I learned from it. I learned some. There's a moral to the story. We're going to get to it at the end. The moral of the story. So, by contrast, this effect also causes those who excel in a given area to think the task is simple for everyone and underestimate their relative abilities. Coming right back at you. You accuse someone else of being this, but as the elder apostle said, elder apostle Rakar said, it actually applies to you. No, it wasn't elder apostle Rakar. It was Gabar. He said it in a live stream. But I'm just isolating the word like I try to do, and see if I can get a little bit more out of it. And like I say, we may come across people that try and fling this word on us in our day-to-day spiritual battle. And he says a little bit more here. The Dunning-Kruger effect. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive base, if I'm reading it right, whereby people with low abilities, expertise, or experience regarding a certain type of task or area of knowledge tend to overestimate their ability or knowledge. So it's like someone who has a delusion of grandeur. That's another word that comes to mind. People that suffer from delusion of grandeur, or megalomaniacs, narcissists, they suffer from this word here. It's kind of like puts all those other words in a nutshell. The Dunning-Kruger, I'm not pronouncing it perfectly, but you get the idea. The Dunning-Kruger effect. So these people suffer from delusions, man. They're delusional people, man. And other things I saw in the debate, I'm just isolating certain things that I saw. My observation. Oh, there's a little bit more here. I want to look at the example. The Dunning-Kruger effect etymology. first described in an seminal 1999 paper by David Dunning and Justin Kruger. So they named it after this guy here. This effect has been the darling of journalists who want to explain why dumb people don't know they are dumb. Right, but you could be very intelligent in a way of book knowledge and reading numeracy, being very academic, but you could still be dumb enough fuck as far as having common sense. So I'll put him in the category. Yeah, don't know they are dumb. These even videos of fantastic pictures of True Nuts, famous area Newsom Dharma explaining the Dunning-Kruger effect. Here's an example. This is what I want to try and make it as simple as possible. This is not going to be a long video. Like I say, this is just some more weaponry we're going to have in our spiritual arsenal. People try and be slick out there. Right? How did the Dunning-Kruger effect get its name? Physician David Dunning and Justin Kruger. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a type of cognitive base that causes people to overestimate their knowledge. Yeah, we already saw that. The abilities in areas where they little have no experience. They have little or no experience. If we look at any examples, we'll look at see what is called when you think you know more than you do. Kind of makes it. What is it called? Some examples here. What is it called when you think you know more than you do? In psychology, a cognitive base whereby people with limited knowledge or competence in a given intellectual or social domain greatly overestimate their own knowledge or competence in that domain relative to the objective criteria or the performance of their peers or people in general. Spirit had me bring that out more than once, but you're just giving examples here, and that's really all I wanted to look at. And like I say, other things what came to my mind when I was watching the debate, as well as the the intensive research that was brought out. This is what he was doing. That's what he was doing. He was deflecting. He was deflecting. This is a word that comes to mind by watching a lot of that. You can bring. Anyway, let's read. Deflecting is a psychological defense mechanism that people use to take the blame off of themselves. When they are deflecting, they are trying to make themselves feel less bad. That's why I saw a lot of that, and we ain't getting into all the nitty gritty of it, because it was it's just we're just looking at the moral of the story. And that's why I can understand, like I say, I've said it in one of my videos, I can understand why we don't get bogged down with people with this characteristic that into the debating. They use a lot of that deflecting, they use circular locution, they use plausible deniability. We're going to look at that as well, the meanings for their wrongs. This likely happens due to the past experience of being in trouble for things. Right, these people have been in trouble from the time they had us. From going back, actually, we can go back to Deuteronomy, man. We can go back to the book of Genesis. It started with Cain, the serpent. It talks about the serpent, the most cunning beast who was in the garden. You can go right back to the Garden of Eden, man. The serpent, which was a man. So they've been in trouble and they've been deflecting. Actually, Genesis 4 talks about fugitives. They've been on the run using deflection, as it says they're being in trouble for things. They likely happen due to the past experience. This likely happens due to past experience of being in trouble for things. Right. We can go back to Cain and Abel. We can go back to there was the fugitive. We can go back even before that to the serpent who beguiled Eve. We know it very well in the scriptures. And so, give an example of deflecting. One of the most common examples of deflection, this happens a lot in debates. That's why I don't deal with, personally, I don't like I said as well, I stay away from controversy to the best of my ability. It really just takes up a lot of time, wastes your time. If you're a no nonsense person, like men of the Lord, for the most part, are no nonsense people, austere people. We don't like to waste time, get bogged down in unnecessary stupidity. People that like to do this. Deflection is when someone changes the subject in the middle of an argument, especially if their behavior is called under question. You see, you can't pin them down. They don't want to be pinned down. They're not responsible. They have a lack of character. Arguing with these type of people is just the same as arguing with women. Don't take responsibility for their behavior. They need to be right. Actually, it's demonic. It's demonic. So, no nonsense type of people don't deal with this kind of waste of time folly. Yeah, deflector will redirect their conversations to focus on something in other person did wrong. So, gaslighting. They're in the wrong. You bring it to their attention, and they say, "It wasn't me. Stop blaming me for something I didn't do. It's you." Deflection, blaming it on you. Gaslighting, and that's a whole nother subject as well. But this is basically gaslighting, turning it around and blaming you for calling them out for being wrong. Gaslighting, deflection. Another one that comes to mind when I was watching the video, like I say, all the bits and pieces in the video, there were certain things I took out of it as far as in-depth research. That's all right. You could use that, but also you can see the folly of it as well. You can see the insincerity of people. That's why the only time I really watch things going on outside of Israel is when the elders and the apostles may bring up Sarnetta, they may bring up Captain Tazariak or anybody else outside of the circle of Israel. And sometimes brothers, they bring out certain things just to break it down, to give you a bigger picture in the spirit. Otherwise, I don't really get involved in any unnecessary controversy. But if it's going to be edifying and we can use it in our warfare, in our arsenal to go forward, if the elders bring certain things out, I may look into it. I myself is there's things that we have to do. We have to concentrate on our spirituality first and foremost, and make sure we're doing things right, rather than getting too bogged down in what other people are doing. But like I say, if it's going to benefit you in certain times, certain ways, or benefit the prophecies, because this is prophecy anyway. Scriptures talk about people taking heed of stupid, false doctrines, teaching lies, and these things are happening now. It's all prophecy. We're going to hit some precepts. Let's carry on. Plausible deniability now. Every time this came out, I was laughing, man. Plausible deniability is the ability of people, typically senior officials in a formal or informal chain of command, to deny knowledge or responsibility for actions committed by members of the organization. Heresy, is that if I'm reading it right? I know when you listen to politicians, they're known for that. Plausible deniability, and that's what they talk about in their meetings behind the scenes. If anyone brings up anything about what you did, what you paid off that person, or what's that guy's name, Bill Clinton, when he had that sex with that woman there, he said, and he just denied. He looked in the camera with a straight face and he said, "I did not have sex with that woman." I don't remember her name. She's irrelevant. But that was what he was doing. Really, they don't look at you as anything. Who are you to call me to account? You're beneath me. So that's what they say. You can just do that. I'm the one with the power. Plausible deniability is the ability of people, typically senior officials in a formal chain of command. People usually do that in people who have, they feel superior. They have a certain amount of responsibility they have authority, so they just deny it. There's nothing you can do about it, mate. That's all it is. That's what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. I don't give a monkeys about what you think. Just deny it. You got the idea. So we're going to look at an example, and then we're going to hit some precepts just to round it out, because there's a moral to the story. Example of plausible deniability. There's a good moral to the story. Plausible deniability refers to the denial of blame in formal or informal change. I've read that one already. Hold on. I might miss some. Yeah, this is the one I wanted. An example of plausible deniability is someone who actively avoids gaining certain knowledge of facts because it benefits that person not to know. See what I'm saying? So don't waste your time. Don't waste your time with people like that. It gives you an example here. You see there. These are people in positions of authority. Plausible deniability. That's one of the former was it JFK former presidents. So let's just read this. We got the point really anyway. Plausible deniability is the ability of people, typically senior officials in the we read that already. There you go. You can go into the Wikipedia, but we got the idea. Let's hit some precepts, man. Because if there's anything that you've learned from people that are into debating, there's a lot. You can get some in-depth knowledge. You can pick, because really sometimes you have to take out a lot of the bones anyway. But let's go back to the precept we read. We opened with Psalm 62 and 4 says, they only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. We know the meaning of that word. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Let's go in on this. The word excellency. Right. Excellency. From his excellency.
Strong's 8, 7613. Se'ath.
So Amalek, which you've been trying to do for the longest time, talks about in Deuteronomy. It talks about that in Numbers, I remember. Around Numbers 22, 23, you know, with where it was Balaam and Balak trying to put curses on Israel, but you couldn't do it because you said that it says it in Deuteronomy, Numbers 24 and 23 and 23. There is no curse, there is no enchantment against Jacob, but you're still seeking to do that. You've been seeking to do that from the time you beguiled Eve, like I said in the Garden of Eden in Genesis. You've been seeking to do this. Exaltation, dignity, to cast him down from his elevation, his exaltation, dignity, swelling, uprising, dignity, loftiness. There you go. That's what it means. You've been seeking to cast down Jake. The wicked Ala Uno is wicked. You've been seeking to cast down the seed of Jacob. And you don't like the fact also, even from, we mentioned Cain and Abel, and then Jacob and Esau, the same seeds reincarnated. He got the birthright, and resents the fact that Jacob got the birthright, and that's in Genesis around 25. He's been seeking to get rid of has been seeking to cast down Jacob from his excellency. He wants the birthright back, so that you can understand, and that's what he's trying to do. You see, and that was just a spiritual thing, you know. When you see these debates with Amalek and Jacob, whether they're got 100% truth or not, it's still a spirit. You can see there's a spiritual thing happening right there before your eyes. That is what it is. Yeah, and they consult only to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies, right? They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly with their tongue. Oh, why don't we all get together? Why don't we share everything out equally? And you've got everything, and you ain't sharing nothing. People are barring, talking about they want compensation. You ain't getting it. Oh, don't tell me that, I ain't getting it. But it's just the truth, man. And that's prophecy, man. It says no man, in Deuteronomy 28 says no man gonna buy you, man. That means you ain't gonna be delivered. You ain't gonna get no compensation. The compensation you're gonna get is better than any kind of paper what you're asking for anyway. They're gonna be in shackles, and even the wicked of around people, you're gonna get them too. You're gonna, when you come out of your folly, when you wake up in the kingdom after dying, with your head down, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna realize, yeah, we was going off, we went off, but you're gonna see that these are gonna be beneath you. You know, even you, the wicked of around people, man. You're gonna have them. That's gonna be your conversation. You're gonna have them beneath you. You're gonna be able to do with them as you please. They're gonna be in shackles, right? That's gonna be the compensation you're gonna have. That's the best type, having power and authority and money to infinity. You know, well, it ain't gonna be money, you know. It's gonna be all different type of things. Land, spiritual power. That's gonna top everything. But then you're gonna have the being able to have all the elements as well. You know, as it talks about in Revelation 21 and 22. The streets gonna be paved with gold. Just to touch on that, that could be another video. But yeah, man. They consult to have you cast you down from your delight because they resent the fact. Yeah, and they use lies to do it, and they use their I'm white, and I say so. I'm white and I'm right. That's what you saw there. Plausible deniability. That's what it is. That's what it was. Deflection. Yeah, the Gunning-Kruger effect. Deflection and plausible deniability, and that is. Comes back down to this scripture. Everything it sums it up in this scripture here. They consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in. You can use those words. All the words we just looked at in lies, because that's all it is. It's just lies wrapped up in bigger words. Deflection, plausible deniability, and the Gunning-Kruger effect. Lies. That's really what it is. Dressed up in other words, dressed up in disguise, lies dressed up in disguise. But we see through that, because you can't lie to Jacob. You know, there is no enchantment. There is no enchantment upon Jacob. You can't lie to Jacob. I'll say you can't lie to the elect of Jacob. Let me say it like that. Here's another precept. Psalms 58:1 says, "The chief, the musician of David, do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O sons of men? Yea, in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh that the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb, they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent, they are like the deaf adder that stoppeth up the ear." Like I say, that's the moral of the story. Lies. And all the other words we looked at is just lies dressed up in decorated lies. Yeah, there is such a word called decorated lies, and that's all it is. So let's go in on this one here. They wicked are estranged. See what the blue letter has to say about this. Estranged. We know the definition of estranged. It's like when someone's married to his wife and they become divorced, they're no longer together, they're estranged of each other. So what does it say in the blue letter? To be estranged, be estranged, to become estranged. That's what Google says anyway. When two people, that's the example in Google. I think we previously covered that in another video. But in blue letter it says to become a strange of another stranger, foreigner, right? Because they're bastards. A I think that's in Zechariah. I ain't looked at that scripture for a little while actually, but I might do a video on that too. We know what that means. Bastard, it means you ain't got no father, fatherless. So Amalek, them, when you're dealing with debating with bastards, man, you got time, ain't you, mate? You got time debating with bastards. The most I don't like them. You're wasting your time, man. That's why I can see why, we're not to get into that wasting our time. Now, if there's talking about debates, if there's a means to an end, if someone really have sincere questions that they want answered, and maybe they're a little bit ignorant, and we discern that they're just ignorant, searching, like a lot of us were, yeah, we can entertain that, we can entertain that with a means to an end, man. I think it's Titus, somewhere in Titus it talks about after the second and third, or the first and second admonition, reject, so, and it takes patience, but we have to use, that's where it's a case by case basis, and you're using your discretion, your wisdom to discern. It's not debating for clout because you got a lot of views, you want to get more. You can mention your Cash App. If I get a lot of views and I get into that debate, I can get more people on and listen, and then I can mention that I got the Cash App, and I got all the other things where I can get money, crowdfunding, and then so that's why I do the debate. It's not about doing it for that. It's about searching for the elect first and foremost, and any sincere people who are out there. Even if this was the case, why the Most High is allowing debates to happen outside of GMS, there's a lot of that happening through the Spirit. Most High, this is not our movie. This is the Most High's movie, and people are playing their lot. They're doing what they are allotted to do, and maybe the elect can come in that way. Most High, this is the Most High's movie. His hand is not cut short. He's in control of all the pawns on the chessboard. Like I say, it's his movie. So if that's why these debates are taking place, well, that could be one of the reasons. But people are in their lot. But if we're in GMS, we're in our lot to look for the elect, to search out the elect. The Most High go on water, He gonna make it grow, but we just to do the work as we are instructed. Just do the work. So, and we know through the Spirit, this is what it's all about. It's a spiritual war that's taking place. So the wicked, back to this now, the wicked are estranged. That's why we don't get bogged down with you. You divorced the woman, man. She gone. Where you want her? You want to take her back now? Them wicked Amalekite, they're estranged, man. The Most High kicked them out. Well, right now they're in the land, over there, but they're gonna be kicked out once and for all. We're gonna be kicked out the land, man, and we're gonna be back there, the rightful owners, so that it's gonna flourish how it's supposed to. Strange woman, prostitute, harlots, they're over there right now. Them Amalek, them are prostitute, and they're in our land. Most are gonna kick them out, be estranged. So I think I've really covered it for the most part, what I wanted to bring out, but there's a couple more precepts. We're gonna hit a couple more, 1 and 2, just to hit the ball out of the park, because we are well aware what type of people we're dealing with. This is Habakkuk chapters 2 and 4. It says, "Behold, his soul, which is lifted up in him, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith." The soul that is lifted up in him is not upright. Let's check that one out, man. We're getting into, like I say, some more words to add to our spiritual arsenal when we're out there doing what we do in spiritual combat. We're dealing with these type of people. The soul that is lifted up in him. Soul is lifted up. Let's see, man. This soul that is lifted up is not upright. We study our enemies.
Strong's H 6075. Aphel.
So all martial artists, when they go into combat, the good ones study and they know what they're getting into. They study their enemy. right? So this is the type of people that we're dealing with, right? To lift up, swell, be lifted up, because his soul is lifted up. To presume, be headless. That's what's going to happen anyway, ultimately, right? But there it is, man. Lift up. His soul that is lifted up is not upright in him. We just looked at that. Soul that is lifted up in him is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Right, so there we have it. That's all I really wanted with that one. Now there's another one, another precept, one more, and we end off with this. Yeah, people are very patient, man. Or like I say, they're doing it for clout purposes, debating with people like this. Job chapters 13 and 4 says, "But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value." Yeah, so there you have it, man. But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. Lies. We know what that is. We learn about people. Don't tell lies. Don't tell white lies. Don't tell no form of lies. That's what they like to do. You see? And all I did was tap in Google. No, the blue letter. I tapped in lies and how many scriptures occurs. How many times does it mention it? 51 times. 51 times in and 51 verses in the KJV. And there's nothing good about lying. Right? Plausible deniability. That's all it is. Right? We said it already. Covered that already. The plausible deniability, the deflection. That's what happens in debates. Most of the debates are a waste of time. And the Dunning-Kruger effect. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Just to get a reminder, we already covered it, but I mean, I like this word. It's actually when you see people trying to play it off and get away with it, it's actually very funny to me. People have got stupid. Anyway, the Dunning-Kruger effect occurs when a person's lack of knowledge and skills in a certain area causes them to overestimate their own competence, trying to blame it on someone else, and they're guilty of it. Right? Certain area causes them to overestimate their own competence. Right? By contrast, this effect also causes those who excel in a given area to think the task is simple for everyone and underestimate their relative abilities. I like it. Trying to get away with that one. Trying to get away with it, man. Who are you trying to fool? Are you stupid? Here we go. One more. Plausible deniability. I'll read it again, man. These are interesting words that people, if you ever get involved in debates, right? If you ever get involved in debates, if it's forced upon you, like it sometimes happens, because people try and think that you're stupid, you can read through them. Just be aware of these words. Plausible deniability. Plausible deniability is the ability of people, typically senior officials in a formal or official informal chain of command, to deny knowledge of responsibility for actions committed by members of their organization. Just deny it. Plausible deniability. Who do you think you're fooling? Plausible deniability refers to the denial of blame in a formal. I've read it already. Yeah, I like it that much. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, we want to end with this one. Actually, we're going to end with this one. Job chapters 13 and 4 says, "But ye are fools of lies, ye are all physicians of no value." That's who you're dealing with. We're studying our enemy, and these are the type of people. We ain't gonna waste our time with people like these. Like I say, Psalms 58 and 3 says, "The wicked are estranged from the womb, they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent, they are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear." Some word I missed out here. Let's check this one out. I want to look at it. The word poison, and that's it, because the point is already made. with just a word search. Albaratazar, we got out of it, and I brought out the points that were necessary to edify the sincere Akim out there. Poison.
Strong's H 2534. Chema. Chema.
Right? So we know that they was trying to give you this. Right? The physicians of no value. When you go and they tell you, roll up your sleeve, son. Right? Or in the spiritual, but also in the literal, don't take it. Right? Poison. Heart rage. Heart displeasure. Indignation. Anger. Wrath. Poison. Heat. Fever. That's what happens. Venom. Be careful of the venomous serpents. Talks about them serpents, subtle serpents in Genesis. Subtle serpents, and like I said, they've been seeking to cast us down from our excellency from then. The subtle serpent approached Eve, and she's taken it. She's drunk it down. That's why she's all messed up, right? She's all messed up, and all the ones that are on that and taking it, they're all messed up. And like I say, the dragon juice is messing a lot of people up too, literally. So stay away from the venom, the poison, burning anger, rage, and that is their spirit. That is their spirit. They're full of it. They're burning with anger and rage. That's how he feels, because you got the birthright, they ain't. They seek to cast you down from his excellency. For emphasis, one more time. 60, Psalm 64, Psalm 62 and 4. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but curse inwardly. All right. Another word I missed out. Curse. This is what they do. We're studying our enemy. This is what they do.
Strong's H 7043. Kalal.
Alright. To curse. To be slight. Be swift by thrilling. Be of little account. Be light. Okay, it's kind of going off a little bit there. To make dispensable. To curse. Alright. To make light. Treat with contempt. Yep. You're on point with that one. To treat with contempt or dishonor. There you have it, man. That's really what I wanted. To treat with contempt, to dishonor. So they bless with their mouth outwardly, but inwardly them curse. Them curse you, because you got the birthright and they haven't. All praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Give double honor to all the elders and apostles once again. Teaching us his truth. And the house of David is rising, and everything the wicked have done to us, past, present, and future, is falling upon their own head. Don't get involved with the dragon juice. Don't get involved with his lies. Shalom to the next one.